Howdy. All right, folks, we're going to be doing a review of The Monkey. I have some thoughts. I was pretty excited to see it. And although I thought it was like fine, it wasn't my favorite. And I'll kind of go into a little bit about like why. Okay, but if you're not familiar with The Monkey, this is a film adaptation of a Stephen King short story, which came out in 1988, I believe, or 1989. And it chronicles this like really demonic, weird toy monkey, right? And these two boys, twin boys, Bill and Hal, are going through their late father's belongings. And they're going through all of his stuff right after he had passed away, like right after he passed away, actually, right after the funeral. And they're going through his stuff, and then they come across this like weird, like cardboard, like little round box. It kind of looks like a hat box, but it is not. There is a toy monkey inside this box, and it's like hella creepy, like hella weird, right? So Bill and Hal, they both find it kind of strange that their dad would have something like that. But what they don't know about it is there's something kind of like lurking under the waters when it comes to the monkey. So Bill and Hal are very different. Although they are twins, they are pretty much polar opposites, which is kind of seen throughout the movie. And this kind of all starts after Bill pranks his brother Hal. So Hal is like this sweet kid, like very quiet, very reserved. And his brother Bill is more just rebellious, always picking on him, always kind of pushing his buttons. And one day at their school, Bill like kind of administers this really humiliating prank on his brother, right? And this is kind of like one of the worst things that Bill has ever done to Hal. And Hal takes it really badly, right? So Hal's like, dude, I don't want to deal with this guy anymore. My brother is an asshole, which he even calls him like multiple times in the movie, right? But one of the strange things that Hal has been noticing night over night is the monkey appearing, just popping up in strange places. Like even right after they put it back in the box and put it back in their dad's closet, the monkey appears sitting on Hal's shelf. So anyway, let's cut back to this prank that Bill did on Hal. Hal is so tired of all of the bullying from other kids at school, but especially from his own brother, right? If you have a twin brother, that's supposed to be like your buddy. And if all of the other kids in school were making fun of Hal and giving Hal a hard time, you got to figure the one person that would not give him a hard time would be his own brother. Anyway, there is a key to wind up this little monkey, right? And if you've ever seen one of those little toy monkeys, some have like the cymbals and they do the little chattering thing. This one has a drum set, right? Drum on his little belly and drumsticks in both hands, right? So Hal wishes his brother dead to this monkey, right? Winds it up, and then the drums start tapping, like pretty like ominous and creepy and weird, right? Next thing we see is like nothing, right? Hal is so upset after this whole thing. He doesn't even want to talk to Bill, doesn't want to share a room with Bill, and he doesn't want to talk to his mom about any of the things that happened at school. By the time Bill gets home, though, shit starts to get a little bit freaky. So when Bill comes home, Hal is in the basement, just having his emotions and feeling absolutely terrible. Bill is upstairs and throws his backpack on the ground and he yells for his mom. Mom is in the kitchen. He's like, Mom, where are you? Mom, where are you? Right? Unfortunately, we see that Hal's wish did not come true because blood is pouring out of their mom's nose and eyes and ears. Because the monkey kills whoever it wants to once you wind it up. And that's what kind of is a catalyst for the rest of the film. So they try to hide the monkey. They literally throw it down a well. they don't know that previously their dad tried to also get rid of it. He tried to burn it. He tried to sell it back to the toy store where he got it from, because even their late father knew that something was wrong and it wasn't just a toy. So we jump about 25 years later. Hal and Bill don't really have much of a relationship. And unfortunately, because of all of the trauma from that, Hal doesn't have the relationship that he wants to with his son. So his ex-wife is seeing a new guy. His new guy is demanding that, hey, you let me adopt your son. And Hal takes it upon himself to say, you know what, let me spend more time with my son because he is mine and I don't get to see him that often. What we don't realize until later in the film is that the reason he distances himself is because he's afraid that something will happen to his son because of all of the chaos that the monkey caused the last time he wound it up. When Hal finds out that someone else is in possession of the monkey, he goes apeshit, LOL. And he and his son Petey go on a trip back to the original estate where the monkey, I think, was last sold. And the realtor is just oblivious to all of the things going on. And then we later see something terrible, catastrophic, gross, and Hal immediately recognizes, holy crap, like, this is probably the work of that damn monkey. So all in all, I thought that the film was like solid, but I have to say, like, I kind of went into it thinking that there would be more like jump scares. And I guess I wanted to be a little bit more scared. I wanted to be a little bit more in like disbelief of all of the stuff that was going on, but I kind of couldn't be. I found it to be just so like silly, like overly silly. Like, comedy is great, obviously. Like especially in a horror situation, comedy can kind of help ease some of the tension. But it was just so silly. It was such a gory film, but the gore was like totally unnecessary. I don't want to say totally, but it really gave Final Destination vibes, like hardcore. And although I know that people love Final Destination, I'm gonna do a review of it when the movie comes out in May. But it's hard when you know it's gonna happen before, like, as everything was unfolding, you already know what's gonna happen. You already know how it's going to happen. But there was not enough mystery or suspense within or even outside of each little death. I mean, the story was kind of cool, and one thing I'm going to do too is try to find that short story by Stephen King if I can, so I can like read through it. But all in all, like, if you're a fan of Theo James from The White Lotus, and if you are a fan of Tatiana Maslany from She-Hulk and Orphan Black, like, you probably still should go and like see it, because I don't ever want to tell somebody to like not view whatever. But I have to say, it really was one of those things where I was just like sitting there ready to be almost like terrified, if that doesn't sound too silly. I was ready to be surprised and to be scared and to be shocked and to like jump, and it didn't deliver in that way. Another thing too, with all of the differences between Bill and Hal, which I do understand, like, the tension between the two of them felt really, really forced. Like, even just as a viewer watching them, I understand probably the need for twins to want to be independent from one another. But even like from a writing standpoint, it felt really forced. It felt like the animosity that they had towards, well, no, sorry, it was, I don't want to give too much away, but it was really more animosity from one twin to the other twin. But in any case, let me know your thoughts. If you have seen it, if you haven't seen it and plan on going to see it, I think it's still a good time. There are some like funny, silly deaths in there that were kind of entertaining. But like overall, it was not my favorite. All right, y'all. I think that's all I got for today. I'll see y'all later. Peace out.